All right, welcome everybody. We'll get started here. I'm James Hogan, OptionVue product consultant now for a few years here. Excited to share some insight into using OptionVue, especially for those just getting started. That's kind of what we're gearing this towards, some important settings to take a look at when you're just starting out with OptionVue, and a nice overview for anyone that is using OptionVue as well. It's interesting, I was talking to a longtime user of OptionVue this afternoon, and he was stating that he's trying to get his son into using OptionVue, and they're actually using Thinkorswim right now to execute their orders through. And he's just sharing with his family the ease of use of OptionVue to quickly be able to analyze trades and get some better modeling out of it as well. So I'm going to share how you can do that today, and let's get you up and running. I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop with you now, so you'll see my OptionVue. And 1 second here as it comes up, and there you go. You got my OptionVue here. Pretty big down day. Actually, it was down a lot more earlier in the day. Got a nice spike in volatility. Good for options trading. This is where you're going to start off with OptionVue. This is called the quotes display. And also up here on the left, it tells you what account you're in. When you first get OptionVue, I believe it says at the top here, account 1. Basically, OptionVue sets you up with a default account. You can have an unlimited number of accounts in OptionVue. And I'm going to just click on this so you can see my drop-down box here of all the accounts that I've set up. Some of them are actually live trading accounts that I have. Some of them are back tests that I've done. Other ones I use demo or test account when I'm using talking to someone on the phone and looking at some trades with them. So you can create an unlimited number of accounts, and it's important when you start off to kind of click on this info button here. Okay, this is going to show you what account you're in right now, and this is where you would go to start a new account. Okay, you can name this account, for instance, if you were trading, had a live account with Thinkorswim, you could name it Toss. These, are something you'd want to talk to us about if you, actually were trading through track data or a super account. What that allows you to do is combine a number of different active accounts together so you can look at them all together. So, for instance, if you had an account with TOS or Interactive Brokers or Options Express and you want to look at all your positions together, that's what a super account means. But for now, I'm just going to start a new account here, and I would hit OK. You can put the starting date in there, so you could actually go back and import trades from a trading account that you started a long time ago, or if you wanted to back test something, say going back to January of 2005, we actually have data going back to January of 2001, and that you could back test anything you wanted U.S. exchange traded that far back. But for instance, so you could hit this, click a starting date here, and then you could say how much capital you wanted your account to start with. Okay. And now you could hit OK, and you've got a new account started here. Okay, so within this account, once you have a new account started here, you could actually go right in, and for open positions, you can kind of adjust this, whether you want slippage and commissions to be included in open positions. If you're tracking a strategy, you could actually include the previous trade, the existing trade you're looking at, to include the previously realized gain losses. So if you have like an ongoing condor or credit spread strategy going on, you could do that. But over here is where you can actually, set up what your commissions are. A lot of people, for pure analysis reasons, might want to just do 0 commissions, and then you can go back in and adjust for them later if you wanted to. But that's how, it's important that you're able to, just so you know, you're able to create a number of different accounts in OptionVue, and you can switch between them pretty easily. You can do a number of different back tests, and all this information is saved under the account. Okay, so that's under the info button to create a new account. Any of the transactions that you do are saved to this T-log, transaction log, underneath this account here. Okay, and then once you create a transaction log, you can, really be able to see some nice reports that OptionVue can create for you. Let me jump over to a different account that I have some transactions in, and if you actually clicked on status. I don't have any trades in here now, but it would give you your overall account standing, basically. You know, how much cash you have available, you know, stock, option buying power, margin requirements, your entire portfolio's delta, you know, your total realized gain losses. You'd be able to see all of that. But the nice thing about it also is you can click on this reports thing, and it's going to show you here, and I'm just looking at from January 2011, which is roughly when my first trade was done in March. This is basically just a weeklies kind of first came out in Apple back in beginning of 2011. So I did a back test a while back. But you can see, you know, I went and basically put all these transactions on a weekly basis in the weeklies, and you can, you know, really have some nice reports when you're done. Okay, basically I stopped my back test in March of 2012, so this would be spread out more, and I can do that just to show you. Actually, I'll do it should be 12. Okay, so this is actually, you know, how my back test worked out here. And you can see from this performance analysis tab here, it's going to tell you, you know, your total profit, gains, losses, loss ratios, you know, period, how long of a period that I actually did this strategy, number of trades. So a lot of nice detailed information. A lot of people sometimes are interested in the biggest drawdown when you're doing a particular strategy. You can find, you know, I had a big drawdown, looks like towards the end there. But those are important factors that you can quickly go back and look at. Now, for instance, I did this strategy. What you could do then is say, okay, how can I tweak the rules of my strategy and go back and look at it again? Well, you can go back and maybe change an entry point or an exit point on your strategy for your weekly, and then compare the results and see how you would have done. I did basically a year back test in this. It probably took me about 45 minutes to do this back test over the course of a year. So basically putting on 52 trades and taking them off in the course of a week. So great tool OptionVue can be for testing strategies. And again, you want to do that when you test a strategy. You go to info and create the title for your account that you're going to do that back test in. And then, you know, that's where you're going to be able to see the reports and everything like that. So I'm going to go back to my test account here. But that's important to know. Keep you know, different transactions and different accounts and different things you're looking at separate. So from the quotes display here, you can actually create a number of different tabs. You can see these tabs I have at the bottom here. I just basically right-click. I can insert a tab and create a new one, and I could name this. I'm just going to name it test. I always do that. So now I have a test tab here, and there's nothing in it. So then you could, you know, populate it if you have a watch list or, you know, some kind of candidates that you're looking maybe to do earnings plays on, things like that. I have a main. This is where I'm, you know, looking at every day, watching the indexes basically. And if I have, these are actually my trading accounts down here that I'm watching trades on. I have an ETF that I have broken down into sectors. I actually have a complete futures. Strictly futures tab down at the bottom, so I can go over here and look at these. I have currencies over here. So, and this is totally customizable. When you get OptionVue for the first time, it is, we have some preloaded symbols in there, but, you know, basically you can click on the top bar here, and the pound sign followed by, you know, a title, whatever you want it to be, is going to create a group for you here. So you can see that I have this indices group, and then down here I have OX, this is an Options Express account. I have a Trade Monster account, and then you can see. So you can create, you know, the groups however you want to. In order to create a blank field here, you just simply hit the Insert button on your keyboard. Okay, so I'm highlighting this RBX here. I'm hitting the Insert button, and it's creating a blank field for me. And you can put in whatever you want to. The Delete button on your keyboard does just what you think it would do. Highlight it, and it gets rid of that cell for you. Another way you can do that, some computers are configured differently. You could always go up to Edit at the top here and insert a row. Okay, it does the same thing. And then you can also delete the row that way as well. Okay, these columns across the top here are customizable as well. Okay, and you could again highlight it, hit the insert button to create a fresh column, and then right click. Basically, I just right clicked in here, and these are all the parameters you could select for this column if you wanted to. Okay, kind of a newer feature we have is this earnings announcement date. I already have this column, so I'm not going to put it there. And I'm going to delete this column actually. But you put the earnings date in here in your quotes display, and it's automatically going to pull when the next earnings date is. So Facebook's coming out after market close, so that's what that means, on October, end of the month here. This one already took place for Walgreens on Tuesday, before the market opened on Tuesday. That happened. Okay, these are here, and the data's not coming in yet for whether it's before or after the market close. But these will automatically update for you as long as you have this earnings date column here. Okay, important thing to know if you're putting a trade on some type of a spread. You know, you don't want to get caught unaware of a big earnings announcement coming out when you're putting a trade on. Okay. So that is how you will kind of configure your matrix here, not your matrix, your quotes display. Okay. Now let's say you wanted to go in up deep further. This is the kind of the starting level here. You have your, you know the account that you're set up in. You're in your quotes display. And now let's go ahead and you can want to dive into an options chain. We call it the options matrix. You can double click on the symbol, or you can click the matrix button. It does the same thing. Left click twice on GLD is going to pull up an options chain. Okay. Now this is what yours will look like if you first get OptionVue. And what you can do is you can customize again the columns up here. Okay. We have the calls on top. We have a little arrow here representing the at the money, and then the puts on the bottom here, and then the at the money put right here at the 127. Okay. To customize what your matrix is going to look like here, your options chain, you're going to want to go up to View at the top left here. Okay. And you're going to want to go to Default Matrix Format. Okay. Now we're looking in the Options tab here. I believe the default is like a 1x3 when you first get OptionVue. I like to do a 1x5. Okay. And you want to have a market price. This is the average between the bid and the ask price for that strike. MIV is the average IB. Basically is taking the average of the bid and the ask IB. Implied volatility there. Then you have a trade column for analysis. You have an existing position. That means that you've converted it and you want to track this trade, and it's actually a transaction that's recorded in your T-log. And then I have OI, open interest, down here. Now you can change these, you know, however you want to. You can have a drop down here, and you can select these different column headings for whatever you want to see when you have your options chain open. Once you have one that you like, you could click up here and hit the Set Default 1 button. Okay. I only have 2 defaults, and I'm going to show you my second default. I'm going to get Default 2. And then when I'm in the matrix, I can switch between them. If you look up here to the left a little bit next to Format, I can switch 1, 2, 3. These are the equivalent of these buttons, the defaults you have 1, 2, and 3 here. Okay. So, you know, if I'm looking to put something on, I will go ahead and look at these prices. I'll then switch over and I want to look at what's the spread, where's the bid, where's the ask, what did this last trade at, how much open interest and volume is there out there. Okay. So again, to do this, you would go to View, and this is the default setting up here at the top. So anytime you open an options chain, you're setting up this default matrix format to this here. If, for instance, you went into a specific underline, like we're in gold right now, and the GLD, let's say I just wanted to change, I wanted this to be something different, you can customize, you know, each underlying asset's options chain matrix to look differently. And you would click on that by clicking on this Format button here, and then you can change it just for the Spider GLD here. So then you can adjust it accordingly just for this underline if you want to. So extremely customizable as far as that goes. So now, like I said, I have the market price. This is my first default. And if I click on this number 2 button, you're going to see now all that information that I had for my second default. Okay. Across the top here, you're going to see the contracts that we're looking at. I don't have weeklies set up here, but we're looking at October, 16 days left to expiration, and that expires on the 19th of October. Okay. Another important default here, let's go get ahead up to view at the top here again. This time we'll go to default auto strike. Okay. The default auto strike sets up what you're going to see as far as strikes and contracts that populate in your options chain when you first open it up. The strike range, I usually like to have mine set to large, so that way I'm looking at a large amount out of the money and in the money for both the calls and the puts. Okay, I want to see all strikes. Maybe if you're looking at the SPX or something else that has a ton of strikes trading, maybe you only want to look at 10-point strikes. You can set it up that way if you want to. If you want to include weeklies or leaps, if they're available, you can do that in here as well. And then you can also have a larger number of contracts going out into the future, all the way up to 12 if you wanted to. Okay. So that's up at view at the top. That's default for everything that you open an options chain for. Now, again, you can customize it just for this underline if you wanted to. So say I went into the matrix for gold here and I want to only look at something different for this. Well, I would click on the define button. And now we're defining the Spider GLD. And you can see here I'm overriding the default settings because I don't have the weeklies checked off here like I did for my under view default auto strike. So now I can change this if I want to and hit apply, and now I'll hit OK, and now my weeklies are going to populate here. So, I must have been in here looking at putting in a GLD trade a while back, and I didn't want the noise of the weeklies because I only wanted to do something, in maybe October or November or something like that. So that's why I, turn the weeklies off so I could just focus on the monthlies. Okay. Now, as far as the color you saw when you first came into my my matrix here, is this button right here. This is the S button, and what that's going to do is going to pull in the standard deviations. Okay. This color you're going to see at the money here represents the at the money. This way you can easily navigate through the strikes up and down and know where the at the money is right away. This darker shading here, and I have my colors customized, this darker shading here is the first standard deviation. This lighter bluish color on either side is the second standard deviation out into either direction. And as time goes, as we look out in the future, the standard deviations get larger and larger, of course, because there's more time for the underline to make a move. And it kind of stares, up from the left to the right. So, a lot of people will use these standard deviations to challenge an underline to move, within that first or second standard deviation. Okay. I'm just going to check real quick and see what kind of questions I got here. Just to answer a quick question, someone's asking, besides TOF, which other trading firms can you use for OptionVue with? Interactive brokers, you can use their data in OptionVue currently, and track data out of New York, you can actually trade through OptionVue through them. They're a smaller company out of New York. And that's all we have right now. We are working with some other ones, but I don't like to talk about it until or get people excited about it until it's actually happening there. So, but there are some things in the works going to be coming hopefully by the end of this year. That'd be great. So now let's go ahead and look at a trade. Okay, let's say we wanted to put something on. Here's the weekly that came out today. You got 9 days. This expires next Friday. Okay, and let's say you wanted to look at maybe a butterfly here in this. Actually, let's go and look at a different underline because I was looking at price line actually. So I'm just going to close out of this one. And I'm going to go down here, and here's price line. I'm going to double click on this one, open up a new options chain for this. And while I was waiting for 3:30 to hit, I put this little trade on here, and I'm challenging it just outside of the first standard deviations in either direction on the weekly here with 12 days out. So I'm just selling 2 at the money, and I'm buying 1 out here and buying 1 in the money here. Okay. Down here, it's going to show you what your requirements are, what the combined position Greeks are going to be. Okay, and these are showing you the average IB numbers in this entire matrix that I have defined here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and analyze this now. And what I do, always put things in the trade column, never put them in the existing position column. This trades are moved from the trade columns to the existing position column by clicking on Convert Trades. I'll show you that in 1 second. But if this is something you were considering, you'd go ahead and put this on, you'd analyze it, and it's going to show you our risk graph here. Okay. These lines each represent a date, a profit loss line for this whole entire position that we have on we put on in the options chain. Okay. Over here you're going to see dates. Okay. It's showing today, the 3rd, and then I have 10/6, 10/9, and 10/12. 10/12, the solid line is representing expiration. Okay. You can have up to 5 different lines if you want to. Okay. The black dot is going to represent where you're at right now. Okay. If you have commissions on right now, so let's say I paid, $10 or $15 of commissions to put this on, this black dot is actually going to be down here a little bit because it actually costs me money to put this on, and I'm not going to be starting at a 0 level. I have to make up that commission before I'm profitable. Okay. These lines right here, these vertical dashed lines, are showing you the break-even points. Okay. So basically, looking down at the bottom here, you're going to see on the x-axis, this is the underlying price. This is the percentage of yield you're going to get as time moves on into the future here. This is P&L and dollar figures over here. Okay. Now I'm on the T+0 line right now. If I click on this next line, okay, it becomes highlighted. You're going to see that this little asterisk here moved from today to 2 days out to the 5th here. It was actually Saturday. So now you're going to see these break-evens moved out wider. Okay, and you can actually right-click on this box, and let's actually put Monday's date in here, because that's the date we'd actually be able to do something. So now you can see, now we're looking at the 7th on this day. Okay, showing the break-evens over here is out to 2% to the upside and 2% to the downside. If it stays within this range here, 1028 to 1069, it looks like you've got a pretty nice return on this butterfly here. And to see exactly what that would be at, you can left-click on this turquoise wand here on the base of this and hold it down with your mouse on the left-clicking on it, and you can see the yield as you move up and down the x-axis to the penny if you want to, and what's your Greeks and how they change. Okay. So let's say I like this trade and I want to actually put it on. What I would do then is I would hit this Convert Trade button, and then it moves over from the trade column to the existing position column. I then click on my T-log, and you can see there it is, the price line butterfly I just put on there. Okay. So now what you could do is I could analyze this, and now let's say I wanted to perhaps put a different trade on in price line. Okay. Let's say I wanted to put, a calendar on. Let's say I want to put something on out here. Okay. So now it's showing me the existing position I have now, and then it's showing them both together. If I do this, that's because I have this B button selected here. Okay, if I click on this E, which means existing position, I want to look at the existing trade. It's now looking at the existing and then looking at the trade. If I click on the T button, it's looking at the trade by itself, which would be right here, and then it shows them both together. Okay, so now because I'm on this T, I can actually analyze just that trade by itself. Okay, if I click on the B, I can look at them both together if I wanted to. And then if I click on the E, I can again just look at the existing position I have on. Okay, now you can actually go back. OptionVue saves up to 5 of these graphs, so you can go back. It's saving them. If you want to superimpose some of them together, you can do that. Or you can delete them if you want to. So it's kind of nice because you're able to actually look at a couple different potential trades together and superimpose them over each other and see what your risk, each trade's risk profile is going to look like against each other. Okay, let's say I don't like this trade right here. I don't want to look at that one anymore. I can click on this pencil eraser here, and I want to clear the trades. Those are now gone. Okay. If, for instance, you had a spread on over here maybe, okay, and a spread on over here, and you want to analyze these both separately and see what they're going to look like. Well, what I would do is I'm going to click on this October 16, highlight it. I'm going to analyze that. And you see why it said no existing position to analyze? That's because I'm on the E up here, and it's only looking at this one. I want to click on the T because I'm looking at trades. I'm going to analyze it. Okay, and you can zoom in or zoom out. Okay, with these little buttons here. Okay, so I'm zoomed in there. I'm going to close that one. Now I want to look at this one. 23 days versus 16 days. I'm going to analyze that one. Okay, and now I want to superimpose the two over each other. I'm actually going to go down to 2 lines here. Let's go to 3 lines. I'm going to superimpose them over each other, and you can see they're going to be really close. Okay, the blue is looking at the October, and the green line is looking at the weekly. Okay, maybe you want to zoom out even more. I'm basically just dragging the x-axis down here to zoom out. So it looks like the weekly is going to give you a little bit higher of a return here, but the October is going to give you a little bit more, tiny bit of upside protection on this one. Okay, and that's simply by clicking at the top here at how I'm able to isolate anything that's in this particular contract. Okay. So there's also a number of ways you can have a number of different strategies in the same underlying in different contracts or even in the same expiration contract, and you're able to isolate those and analyze them separately or together if you want to. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clear my trades, and here is the position I have in that I have in the existing position here. So if I click on my T-log, you can see this trade here. If you didn't like this trade, you could simply come in here and delete these dates right here, and it'll be like this trade never happened. I actually like this one, so I want to watch it for later. Okay, so that's kind of how you start out in the quotes display here. Enter your symbol. Okay, you would, here's Tesla. Jump into Tesla, double click, left click twice on it, pull up an options chain. Okay, and then you could only enter trades in this position here. Okay, so for instance, say you're bearish Tesla because the Tesla car caught on fire what was it, yesterday. You could put this on, and as long as here's your break even, you can click on your timelines, and you can see here, this is going to be by the 15th. that if Tesla stays at this position, or at least stays, doesn't increase by 7%. 7% is your break even within, not even within, 12 days from now. Now, this is your profit line, and you can see what your profit is going to be. 12% right here. It looks like you're going to max out at like 13 or 14%. Now, if you wanted to put this position on, let's go ahead and convert the trade. Now it's in this existing position field. So if you actually put this trade on and toss or whatever, you could come in here. You would then go in the T log, and you could, adjust the price accordingly. We do have imports, but it's, unless you have a ton of transactions, it's easier just to do this. Let's say you got filled at 301 on this one, or I got filled at, 112 on this one. Okay, and you paid, $3 for this and $3 for this. I'm just throwing numbers in there. So this is your commission, so you can keep track. You can come back and put in OptionVue what you actually got filled at and what your actual commissions were. So then you can come over here, and you can see them be down a little bit now because of the commissions I entered in there. And then you'd be able to track this going forward and watch it. If you wanted to watch it live, what you could do is you could restore this options chain down up here. You can see I shrunk it down a little bit here. Okay, this arrow, you notice I shrunk it down, it's showing me that, hey, your positions aren't showing up here. This arrow is going to show me where they're at, which is kind of nice. If you have a huge options chain, you open it up and you have positions somewhere, you'll see an arrow. Click on that arrow and it'll bring you to your position. Okay, so it brought me to the position here. Now I want to analyze it. You can open this graph up side by side, and you can watch it throughout the day as it moves. Okay, now let's say you wanted to make an adjustment here. Let's say, I want to bring in a little bit more premium because I don't think it's going to get, I think it's going to stay in this certain range, and I want to pull in some more. Well, you can come down here, and let's do something like this. Watch the graph. Pretty cool, huh? So you're able to go ahead and side by side make adjustments, make changes. The graph's going to change for you. You can see that right now what's happening is you'll see in blue is the existing position I have on. This is a proposed trade. It's showing me in this graph, this purple line here, it's showing me what my new risk reward graph is going to look like with this trade on combined with my existing position. Okay. Now let's say I want to clear the trades. I don't want to do that. Boom, it's gone. And this black data will move around throughout the day. If you have your real time, if you have delayed data, you can update every half an hour with BackTrader. If you're in BackTrader, you can step through time and watch this graph change as you're back testing. If you were back testing, saying, and you were getting close to a break even, or you were getting to a 10% or a 5% loss, which would be maybe a rule for one of your strategies, you could then say, okay, it's time to make an adjustment. You would go over here. If you were going to take down a trade or something like that, you would put the opposite trade in right here. Okay, basically you're putting, like you're going to buy this one back, and you're going to close this one out by putting the opposite trade in here. And watch when I do this, nothing's left because you've taken this trade off as far as OptionVue is concerned here. So now I would hit convert trade. You're going to want the existing position disappear. Click on my T log, and now I've got my Tesla opening and my Tesla closing. Okay, so that's how you're going to enter trades, track trades, analyze existing positions against proposed adjustments, or adding a leg onto something. That's how you would do it. But again, how I did that was I had my matrix was maximized here. Then I put something on. You have to have a trade in here in order for this to go into effect. A debit there, and then we're going to do restore down. Sometimes it's next to help. Excuse me. Sometimes it's next to help over here. I'm going to restore this down, find my trade, click on this little graph button here next to the printer, which says Open Analysis and Automatic Update Mode. I call it Side-by-Side Analysis Mode, and we put it on here. And now it's showing my debit spread. Okay, I'm going to see, I think I have a question here. I got somebody asking me about looking at break-evens by standard deviations out. I'm not sure about that. Let me look at something again, trade here. So you want to look at them, your break-evens. I think so. Let me put a different trade on here that's going to look a little bit different. Okay, I'm just putting a calendar on here, one lot calendar here. I'm going to analyze this one. And then basically what we're doing here is you can see the standard deviations are at the bottom. I'm not sure this is going to exactly answer your question, Tony, but this is, you can see your standard deviations here. Okay, and these don't have any break-evens because they're underwater right there because this is such a small trade. Let me actually increase the lot sizes here. And still, this isn't good. Well, we're got volatilities is what's causing this. But let's say I clicked on here. So these are my break-evens, and it's showing me time frames where my break-evens are as far as the time goes. These are showing me my standard deviations out here. You can change the dates to see what your break-evens would be at any particular time. Okay, and you do that by clicking on the lines themselves. Or you can also, change volatility as well if you wanted to. Okay, this multi-change box over here allows you to say, okay, let's say you expect a volatility increase of 3%. Watch the lines in the graph are going to shift. Okay, so now I shifted up a little bit, so now I have break-evens here. Okay, calendars like volatility. Let me put in just 7 here, and you can see the lines all shift up here. So you can adjust for volatility in this as well. As far as seeing where your break-evens are, this is another way you can do it as well. I'm going to click on the price chart here. Now we're looking at the price chart for Tesla, one little car fire. And we'll go ahead and hit this button right here, which is going to show me my profit zone. Okay. So based on this calendar, because it's so underwater at the beginning of this, it has to end up out here for your profit zone. Let me put a different trade on to give you a better example of that. Let's just do, well, I kind of want to do let's just do a butterfly. Here's my butterfly on this one, and now we're going to go ahead and click on the price chart again, and now I'm going to look at this little button right here. It will show me your profit zone. Your break-even lines are these blue lines at these particular dates and time. Okay. I got someone want me. Let's go ahead and so this is kind of another feature that you can use to show where your break-evens are going to be at different points in time there. Let me see, I got another question here. Okay, someone's saying they want to see the graphic analysis side by side as we backtest. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to go into backtrader mode. This is how you backtest. Say you started your new account for backtesting. I'm going to go right here, click on backtrader. Always want to have this window open when you're backtesting. Okay, so let's just go back. Let's go back to August. Okay, The S moves you by half an hour. The D moves you by day. I'm going to hit start here. So we're looking at August 15th, Thursday. That trade's going to disappear. Oh, no, it's going to disappear because, of course, we're going back in time here. So we're looking at Tesla now. Looks like these are it's only trading 5-point strikes. So I'm going to go ahead and click define. And cleans up big time for me there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put let's put a butterfly on here. Actually, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. Just put a 1 standard deviation butterfly on. Analyze it. Looks good to me. We're going to convert the trade. Now we're in the existing position. Okay, it's in the existing position there. I'm going to restore this down. Click on my side-by-side analysis mode. And now I have my back trader window open. I have to keep this open here. And I'm going to go to Friday at the close. Okay, it's going to update for me. Okay, you can see my black dot move. You can see I'm up $70 down here now. I'm going to go to Monday. Updating over here. Now we're on Monday. Okay, price is getting away from us here. I'm up $50 now. This is probably getting close to a break even. Maybe you take some profit, maybe not. Going to move to Tuesday. And I can always also see where we're at. Yep, see, price got away from this Tesla. Well, we knew Tesla's going to has been skyrocketing. So now you're in a loss on this. But now let's say you wanted to, let's go back a day here. And what I'm going to do is zoom into this graph. So you can see this. I'm just back testing in back trader mode here. But you'd be able to have this graph. See, now I'm zoomed in. So now you'd be able to get a better idea. Let's go back one more day here, just so you can see that you can do this side-by-side analysis here. At the Friday, and be able to see where you're going to be throughout your back test with your trade. So, I mean, of course, you're going to make some definitely going to make some moves as according to whatever kind of rules you have set up for yourself. It's important to have the rules set up for yourself. But say, okay, I'm happy with. Let me highlight. You can hover over this black dot. It's going to show you what percentage you're at. So it says I got a 7% yield right here. Probably not a target you'd want to take unless you were real bullish and say this thing is going to take off. Maybe you'd want to take this profit. What you could do. And let me show you also. I can click on the status button up here. It's going to show you the I have a $50,000 account here. It's going to show you your gain loss. That's what status does. Shows you your total account. And if you had multiple positions on it, would list them all here and calculate the, your gain loss. But what you would do is you could then come here and you could then put in the opposite trade. And I was going to click on status because I was going to show you something also. Let me go ahead. I want to show you the whole trade. This is kind of neat too. So you have this whole trade on here. You want to click on status and say I'm going to right click on it. I right clicked on it. You can set up alerts for this trade. Okay, let's say I want to look for a percentage gain. I want to say show me when there's going to be a 10%. You can set up another one too if you want to, but show me when I got a 10% gain on this chart here. Okay, and I have my alert set up. Okay, and let's go ahead and step a half an hour into the future here. Well, actually not a half an hour. We're going to open up on Monday. And you see there's my 10% objective that I have set up for it, which is 95%. Okay, I'm obviously heading in the wrong direction here. But I just kind of wanted to show you real quick that you can set up all sorts of stops and objectives in this as well. But let's just say I want to get out of this trade. So I want to send the closing trade to the matrix. Boom, it puts the opposite trade in for me. I then hit convert trades, and I'm out. Yes, I want to cancel that. Okay, so I hope that answered your question, Jim, that you can actually do that. Yeah, it only stays open when you're doing the side-by-side analysis. That's right. That's kind of a nice way to backtest. That's how I would, instead of going back and forth between a really large matrix and then analyzing and then going back and seeing where you're at. For back testing, the side-by-side is awesome. When you're done with back trader mode, I can click here. Yes, I'm okay with going out of back trader mode. I can close my status here. Yes, that's fine. And we're back to the beginning here. It's amazing how fast time goes when I'm just walking through and demonstrating, doing some things with OptionVue. So, I kind of went kind of quick there, maybe not so quick, but just a lot of features. It's very robust, and there's a lot of things you can do with it. What I like to do and offer anybody that's doing a trial is to do a personal walkthrough. Basically, it would look the same as this, but we'd be talking on the phone together where we're doing some desktop sharing and looking at some trades maybe that you are doing, and we can analyze them together. One other thing, some other important things that I wanted to share real quick is this default. This view button at the top is really how you get started and set up the defaults. The default model button is important just at the beginning because it's important to know that OptionVue is defaulted to hit bid-ask slippage, which means when you're looking at the graphs, OptionVue is going to look at the bid and the ask, and it's going to give you the worst possible fill. So you're going to be buying at the ask, selling at the bid, and that's going to give you some trades that might have looked good when you're looking at the average between the bid and the ask. So I usually recommend, something to moderate or small, because you're going to work the orders if you're putting on a trade. Okay. If you want commissions included in your modeling also, this is where you would select it. But just a view at the top, default models, these two things are important for you to know here. Okay. Some other resources I wanted to share with you really quick is you can go to OptionVue.com. Click on this support tab right underneath our phone number. We have brand new OptionVue 7 tutorial videos done by Steve Lentz. So they're all really up to date with the new features and everything like that. Okay. These Essentials recordings, you can go right here. Me, Ken, and Karen do these often. You can go here and watch, our past Essentials videos. I know there's some about back testing in particular. There's some about scanning. The last one I did was about OptionVue scanning tool, which I didn't even briefly touch on today. I can spend a whole hour just on that. So you can go here and look at those, and the titles are pretty good about the descriptions of what we're going to be talking about in these recordings here. If you're more of a reader and want to read a user guide, you're going to see these user guides here. A lot of them are going to be referencing OptionVue 6. All the same principles apply. We're in the process of updating those to all the new features in OptionVue 7. Okay. Another thing I wanted to show you real quick too, that go to discoveroptions.com. There's tons of free information here as well, but I just wanted to log in here and show people what you'd have access to as a mentoring student. This is what your courses would look like. You'd watch a course, do the homework, and then you would meet with your mentor one-on-one. We have a stock analysis report, which is just for mentoring students. I got to log in here again real quick. Stock analysis report is just for mentoring students. You're able to put a symbol in here, and it's going to show you some really, really nice information about the implied volatility and where the underlying has gapped before. This is if earnings came out before the market open. If it came out after the market open, shows you the skews. Earnings is coming out in Apple right now, that's why. But you'd see, here was obviously some earnings coming out right around this time. And it would show you the skews, and it would show you how to possibly set up the legs of a possible spread you were going to do to take advantage of the volatility crush after earnings came out. Besides this, if you sign up for course 3 or higher, this is one of the biggest things that are unknown to people out there that are even considering our mentoring. These are inside wires, which are only accessible to people that have taken course 3 or above. A lot of different strategies that are not even talked about in the courses, course lessons themselves. Okay, I mean the Jade Lizard strategy. Really, what's that? I didn't see that one yet. But you can look down here. You can see there's customizable scanning formulas there. There's condors based on stochastics. Just tons and tons and tons of, there's probably about 300 of these on here over the years of just really in-depth strategies, technical analysis, capital allocation. There's some videos in here about that. Earnings calendars. So just want to let you know that there's a lot of these, and these are all, either between 30 minutes to an hour and 15-minute long videos here. Okay, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. Go back to OptionVue. Anybody have any questions? I'd be happy to answer. Take a look at anything. Okay, all of these are actually recorded, and you can go to OptionVue.com. Let me go back there real quick and show you where you can see these. We're going to the home page here, and you can always watch and see what's coming up here in this pink section here, and you can see the full calendar of upcoming events, or you can view the archived recordings. If you register for any one of these and are unable to attend, you'll always be emailed a link to the recording, usually the next day. Again, I encourage you guys to call us up if you have any questions, want to do a personalized walkthrough. Thanks for attending, and we'll see you all soon.